Today we are going to discuss kalium carbonicum. Kalium carbonicum, common name potassium carbonate or carbonate of potassium. Chemical formula K2CO3. It should be K2CO3, potassium of carbonate or potassium carbonate. Carbonate of potassium or potassium carbonate. So let's start. Constitution. Diseases of old people in dropsy and paralysis. Old people with dropsy and paralysis. This is number 1. Dark hair, lax fiber. Number 2. And inclined to obesity. Number 3. This is of kalium group constitution. Almost in all kalium group drugs, obesity, dark hair, lax fiber, old people, dropsy and paralysis for diseases. So kalium carbonicum constitution. And I am coming to SK Dubey slide. I will discuss it from Ellen's keynotes and SK Dubey and boric Materia Medica. I will make separate video on kalium carbonate from Nash Materia Medica. So here it is written in SK Dubey constitution physical makeup. The patient is dark skinned and haired. Dark skin and hair but of lax fiber and inclined to obesity. Lax fiber, lax loose. Lax means loose fibers. Inclined to obesity, helpful in diseases of old people who are fleshy and dropsical condition. And puffiness of upper eyelid and paretic tendencies. I will come later to this. Thermal reaction of this patient is chilly. This is one of the physical characteristic symptom. And miasm, it is a great antisoric remedy. Diathesis, tubercular diathesis. Diathesis wise, tubercular diathesis. Now come to causation. Here it is written in SK Dubey, ailments from or causation. Cause, exposure to cold, overstrain, sexual excess, ice cream and iced water. So number 1, exposure to cold, ice cream and ice water. This one, cold, ice cream, ice water, number 1 cause. Overstrain, number 2. Sexual excesses, number 3. And number 4. Here it is written in Ellen's keynotes, after loss of fluids or vitality, particularly in the anemic. So number 4, causation. Cause. We have read 4 cause. Number 1, ice cream, cold or iced water. Number 2, overstrain. Number 3, sexual excesses. And number 4, or you can say, you can keep numbering your on, after loss of fluids or vitality, particularly in anemic person. So now we are going to discuss mental generals or mental characteristic symptoms. So let's start. Here mind symptom written. There is great aversion to being alone. Number 1, great aversion to being alone. Others remedy bismuth, arsenic, lycopodium, stramonium. And desires to be alone. Gelsemium, ignitia, natrum mur, nux vomica, sepia. Great aversion. The patient, Kelly-Carr patient doesn't want to being alone. Great aversion to being alone. Also in arsenic, lycopodium, stramonium. Number 2, alternating mood with irritability. Patient is irritable. Obstinate, number 3, jiddi. Obstinate is jiddi. Number 3, obstinate. Hypersensitive to pain. Number 4, hypersensitive to pain. Anxiety arising from chest, despondent, hopeless. Despondent means hopeless and afraid of imaginary things. I am changing the color here. Afraid of imaginary things. Despondent, hopeless. So here, so despondent, hopeless and afraid of imaginary things. This one is number 4. So this is number 4. So about mental symptoms, great aversion to being alone, number 1. And number 2, alternating mood with irritability. Number 3, obstinate and hypersensitive to pain. And number 4, despondent and afraid of imaginary things. So here it is written in Ellen about mental symptoms. This is great aversion to being alone. Only one symptom written. Arsenic, bismuth, lycopodium, desires to be alone, ignatia, nux vomica, natramure, gelsemium, many other remedies. You can comment. So now come to physical generals. Cannot bear to be touched. Starts when touched ever so lightly, especially on the feet. So number 1 physical characteristics, cannot bear to be touched. Oversensitiveness. Oversensitive. Oversensitive. You have to comment about oversensitiveness about herself. So cannot bear to be touched, oversensitive, starts when touched ever so lightly, especially on the feet. Number 2 physical characteristics, pains. About pains, stitching kind, darting, fly from one part to another, oats during rest, aggravation during rest, and lying on affected side. Same kind of pain in bryonia, stitching, darting, but amelioration during rest and lying on painful side. So modality is opposite of bryonia. This question may be asked in PG. Modality is opposite of bryonia. Can be asked like this. So pain is stitching, darting, aggravation during rest, lying on affected side or painful side. Bryonia also pain is stitching and darting kind, but amelioration during rest and lying on painful side. Modality is opposite of bryonia, very much important. Next, very much inclined to take cold. Cold is one of the cause. I have already discussed about eyes. One of the characteristic symptom, bag-like swelling between the upper eyelids and eyebrows. So bag-like swelling between the upper eyelids and eyebrows, or swelling on the upper eyelids, this is kalicarb. We are reading kalicarb. Swelling on upper eyelids, kalicarb. We are reading lower eyelids, apis. Here I have written lower eyelids, apis, and both eyelids swelling, phosphorus. This is the important symptoms. Weak eyes after quiescence, pollution, abortion, measles. So measles, after measles, abortion, pollution, after quiescence, this one all cause. After quiescence, pollution, abortion, measles. Now about nose. Nose bleed when washing the face in the morning. Also in ammonium carb and arnica. Nose bleed when washing the face in the morning. About mouth, toothache only when eating, throbbing type, dhop dhop. Aggravation when touched by anything warm or cold. Toothache only when eating. Aggravation when eating, aggravation when touched by anything warm or cold. Toothache. Throbbing type of sensation in toothache. Throat, difficult swallowing, sticking pain in pharynx as of a fish bone. Also in hypersal nitric acid, like something fish bone stick in the pharynx. Sticking kind of pain. Sensation of pain, sticking. This one is sensation. Location in pharynx, and this one is location. About throat symptoms, difficult swallowing, sticking pain in pharynx as of a fish bone. This one is also sensation as of a fish bone. Sticking pain, food easily gets into the windpipe, pain in back when swallowing, aggravation when swallowing. This one is modality. Foods easily get into the windpipe. Difficult swallowing. Aggravation when pain in back when swallowing. So this is all about throat symptoms. Now here it is written in SK Dubey. The patient is guiding symptoms. Oversensitive to touch. Starts when touched ever so lightly, especially the feet. The feet is very much oversensitive to touch. Pains are stitching, darting, and modality is opposite of bryonia or reverse of bryonia. Opposite of bryonia or reverse of bryonia. Number 3, bag-like swelling between the upper eyelids and eyebrows. Lower eyelids, apis mellifica, and both phosphorus. Early morning aggravation is very characteristic, particularly between 2 to 4 am. Especially the respiratory symptoms, asthma and cough. Early morning aggravation. I will discuss it about respiratory symptoms. Backache accompanies all the complaints. One of the also very characteristics, backache. It is a constant nature with sensation as if back and legs would give out any time. Great debility. Also a very much characteristic symptoms, great debility, weakness, so much so that she drops herself into a chair or throws herself on the bed completely exhausted. Sitting up, leaning forward or rocking constantly relieves the chest affection, especially asthma. Leaning forward or bending forward, especially asthma relief, also in RSALV. These symptoms also in RSALV. Asthma from bending forward amelioration. Lastly, to conclude, quoted below is what is Farrington states: sweat backache, and weakness as the combination are not found under any other remedy. So, here very much important symptom. According to Farrington states sweat, perspiration, backache, and weakness. These three. 1, 2, 3. Sweat, backache, and weakness. Combination are not found under any other remedy. So when these combination are there, we can think of this remedy, kalium. Very much marked symptoms of kalium: perspiration, backache, weakness. Perspiration, cold, profuse, whole body, mostly on the painful part. Backache, weakness, great debility, combination are found only in the kalium, not found under any other remedy. About GI symptoms, a stomach distended, sensitive, feels as if it would burst. Excessive flatulency, everything she eats or drink appears to be converted into gas, also in iodine. Excessive flatulency, everything she eats or drink appear to be converted into gas. Very much sensitive, distended abdomen, feels as if it would burst. This is sensation, distended, excessive flatulency. About constipation, stool, large, quantity large, difficult to pass, with stitching kind of pain sensation, colic pains, and hour or two before stool 1 घंटे पहले या 2 घंटे पहले पेन स्टार्ट हो जाएगा. स्टिचिंग पेन, कॉलिक पेन, and difficult to pass, stool in large quantities. Now come to female symptoms. Feels badly, week before menstruation. Weakness, debility, backache before and during menses. Backache before and during menses. Backache before and during menses. Backache, kalium. Constipation before and during menses, silesia. And diarrhea before and during menses, ammonium car. Here it is both written in silesia. Constipation before and during menses, silesia. Backache before and during menses, kalium. Diarrhea before and during menses, ammonium car, bovesta. Labor pains insufficient. Violent backache. Wants the back pressed. So amelioration from pressure. Amelioration from pressure. Here I am writing amelioration from pressure. Backache symptoms may asked in Viva. If we tell backache before and during menses, then they can ask constipation before and during menses. So silesia, diarrhea before and during menses, ammonium carbovesta. Now come to respiratory symptoms. Cough. Cough dry, paroxysmal, intermittent. लूजेंस पैरोक्सिमल एक पीरियोडिसिटी रहेगा. लूजेंस विसिड म्यूकस और पस विच मस्ट बी swallowed, spasmodic with gagging or vomiting of ingesta. Hard, white or smoky masses fly from throat when coughing. Cough dry, paroxysmal, viscid mucus or pus must be swallowed, spasmodic with gagging or vomiting of ingesta. Hard, white or smoky masses. White or smoky masses fly from throat when coughing. It will fly from throat. Asthma. About asthma symptoms. Relieved when sitting up. Amelioration when sitting up or bending forward. Also in R-Salv, Arsenicum album. Asthma relieved when sitting up or bending forward or by rocking. Hours from 2 to 4 am. This one is aggravation time. So asthma modality, aggravation 2 to 4 am, amelioration sitting up or bending forward or by rocking. Persons suffering from ulcerations of the lungs can scarcely get well without this antisoric, according to Hahnemann. Suffering from ulceration of lungs, we can think of this remedy, that is kalium. About cardiovascular system, heart, tendency to fatty degeneration. Degeneration is also other name of reversible cell injury. I am writing here reversible cell injury. So fatty degeneration, fatty changes. Also in phosphorus, as if suspended by thread, lachesis. About backache, sweating and weakness. These three symptoms not together in any other remedy according to Farrington. So if these three symptoms are coming in patient, we can think of this remedy. Backache, sweating, weakness after abortion, labor, metrorrhagia. Metrorrhagia in between two menses if there is bleeding, so metrorrhagia. When eating, while walking, feels as if she must give up and lie down. Aggravation when eating, walking, amelioration, lie down. Cause after abortion, labor, metrorrhagia, and associated symptoms sweating, weakness. So backache, location in the back, sensation, feels, here it is sensation, feels as if she must give up. And a cause after abortion, labor, metrorrhagia, aggravation when eating, walking, and amelioration, lie down. Concomitant symptoms, sweating, weakness. Can be asked in theory. So you have to write like this: location, sensation, modality, concomitant. Now come to relation. Complementary carbo-veg. Compare bryonia, lycopodium, natrum mur, nitric acid, estan. So will bring on the menses when natrum mur, thou apparently indicated, fails. Hahnemann, according to Hahnemann. So complementary carbo-veg, comment me the complementary of the carbo-veg. Calicarb complementary carbo-veg. So I am summarizing this drug. I will make another slide of this kalium on NAS Materia Medica. Another separate video I'll make. Here important symptoms about cannabis sativa. Asthma amelioration stands up. Hypersulf asthma amelioration bent backward. And third point, R-sulb and calicarb asthma amelioration bend forward. Can be asked in Viva. So I am summarizing this drug. Kalium carbonicum, common name potassium carbonate, K2CO3, constitution wise for old people, dropsy and paralysis with dark hair, lacks fiber, inclined to obesity, and causation exposure to cold, ice cream, and sexual excesses, overstrain. Here it is written in SK Dubey. And fourth one, loss of vital fluids. About mental symptoms, number 1, great aversion to being alone. Number 2, alternating mood with irritability. Number 3, obstinate, hypersensitive to pain. Number 4, despondent and afraid of imaginary things. About physical characteristic symptoms, oversensitive to touch, especially the feet. Pains are kind of stitching, darting, oars during rest, lying on affected side, opposite of bryonia. Modalities, opposite of bryonia. Eyes, about eyes, bag like swelling on the upper eyelids, calicarb, lower eyelids, apis mellifica, and both the eyelids phosphorus. Nose bleed when washing the face in morning, toothache only when eating, sensation throbbing, aggravation when touched by anything warm or cold. About throat, difficult swallowing, foods get into windpipe, pain in back when swallowing, sensation as if fish bone, sticking pain in pharynx. So this is all about guiding symptoms. And about backache, GI symptoms, constipation, large, difficult to pass, stool, stitching pain, colic pain an hour or two before. And about female symptoms, week before menstruation, feel badly, backache before and during menses, calicarb, constipation before and during menses, silesia, diarrhea before and during menses, ammonium carb, bovesta. Violent backache wants the back pressed, so amelioration from pressure. About respiratory symptoms, cough, dry, hard, paroxysmal, loosens, viscid mucus or pus which must be swallowed, spasmodic with gagging or vomiting of ingesta, white or smoky masses fly from throat when coughing. Asthma relieved by sitting up or bending forward, also in Arsenicum album. And amelioration, asthma when bent backward, Hepersol. And asthma amelioration when stands of cannabis sativa. Also calicarb amelioration, asthma from rocking, aggravation 2 to 4 am. Timing is very much important for Viva, may be asked in Viva. About backache, sweating, weakness, 3 symptoms not comes together in any other remedy according to Farrington. Complementary carbo veg. So I have all discussed physical characteristics and mental characteristics and modality, timing, aggravation 2 to 4 am, amelioration, sitting up, bending forward, pressure, and modality is opposite of bryonia in pain, and relationship complementary to carbo veg. So I have all discussed it. Thank you.